Well, I think it's been true since at least Margaret Thatcher's era that the term reform has transformed its meaning. We used to believe that it was meant to indicate that things would get gradually better and that there would be improvements. But we've now learned, I think, probably under both Thatcher and Blair, that reform means that things are going to get markedly worse. And this set of reforms, Matt Hancock's set of reforms, is of exactly that kind. If you have a look, for instance, at the British Medical Journal, so straight from the horse's mouth, what the medical profession, one of its most authoritative publications, has got to say about this, they're horrified, and they're right to be horrified. For instance, we commonly think that the NHS is still a largely publicly owned institution, and that's true, but only up to a point. There's far more privatisation has taken place than most people are aware of, and under this set of reforms, it will go further. So rather than, for instance, them being able to have a competitive tendering process, a transparent competitive tendering process for NHS services. Now, I don't think they should be doing that in the first place, but if they're going to do it, it ought to be transparent. This set of reforms abolishes that. There will no longer be a transparent competitive tendering process. So the corruption that's been so evident in the way that this government has handed out contracts to its friends during the COVID crisis will now be institutionalized inside the NHS. That's a reason enough on its own to be opposed to these reforms. It will also be the case that NHS trusts will get half their money, half their entire funding from private sources, not from general taxation. So this is of a part with what the Tories and indeed New Labour have done to the NHS over a generation. It shouldn't be supported. It should be reversed, because we've now had, in the most dramatic way possible, a blindingly clear demonstration of what this means. Because the reason why this government has been so appalling over the COVID crisis is not just that they're malignant, a bunch of rich kids who don't understand what ordinary life is like for most people. I mean, that's true, and it's a significant factor, but it's not as significant as this. And that is, they no longer have an NHS which could respond to this crisis. They've privatized it, they've compartmentalized it, they've aggregated the hospitals, they've done away with public health care to such a degree that even if they were the best intentioned people in the world, they don't have the levers to pull any longer. They don't have the mechanism to deliver public health in the way that it needs to be delivered. So one more step down this road is all to the worse.